What's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? All right, another day, another red candle. What's going on out there? How's everybody doing? $108,000 Bitcoin to start the day. We want to close, worst case scenario, above 108,225. Currently at 108,114. It's been a wacky few days, to say the least, guys. Yesterday was a crazy wick all the way up to 114 and ended up closing around 108,240, right? So worst case scenario, we want to close above 108,226. It would be nice to get above 110,580, but for a close, but I mean, it doesn't look like that's going to happen here. Maybe we're going to come down for a double bottom. Who knows, right? Who knows? But we'll watch it play out. What do we got for the super chats? Ramona Says, love the new newsletter, Rob. Everyone should check out the website. It's a great addition. Yes, absolutely, Ramona. The link to the new newsletter, guys, and website is in the chat. Make sure you go check it out. It's absolutely free newsletter. Big Kev says, if people keep pushing the market down, the explosion of the market rebound should reach the moon and beyond. Let's go. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I was seeing comments from people saying that they've been in the market since January, or they've been with me since January and they're down. And here's the thing. The whole market is down since January. So the rhetorical question that you have to ask yourself is, do you think it's some individual's fault that the market is down since January? Or do you think that it's just the market being the market? And if you recognize and are intelligent enough to figure out that the market is just being the market, then why would you even say the words, I'm down since January? Interesting, right? Tells me some people are not intelligent enough to figure out that if the entire market is down since January, where it had a December-January type altcoin season, if you can't figure out that it's the whole market and not just individual picks, you might not be intelligent enough to be in crypto at this point in time. You might need a little more education. Another local, what's going on? Pico and LFG dev team are working hard. Amazing work. They keep teasing us on the Patreon. Absolutely. Crypto JPEG, what's going on, man? Where you been? Good afternoon. I keep telling myself no more Miria. Then she drops farther and forces my hand to buy more. Hey, I'm with you on that, man. I am with you on that. Beebs, my dude, what's happening, brother? Chappie says, hearing rumors of a vote today, maybe Thursday. Senate Dems have made a deal and will pass to open government. There is a guy filibustering right now, 20 hours, just a rumor, but hope it's true. That would be absolutely a nice step in the right direction, brother. Beeb says a move to 92 to 94K could be in the cards. Maybe 98. We'll see. We'll see. If enough people expect it, it might not happen. Quentin, what's up, buddy? Ty, I see you, man. It's a me, Mario. What's happening? What's good, Senior Rob? Let's get ready to rumble. Kizza's in the house. What's up, man? When Moon, when Lambo, when retire. Government secrets, brother. Can't tell you that. John, blessings, my friend. Super fantastic. Oh, House says, I'm all out of dry powder sitting on my hands till the run happens. Nothing wrong with that, my friend. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe on the way in. We have 192 people watching. We have 41 likes. Guys, let's get to 100 likes. We got this. We can do it. Put your back into it. Andy says, blame Spencer for everything, 100%. Long story short, it's Spencer's fault. Jake the Snake, Spencer ate my homework. Funky, what's up, buddy? Any hope for FET recovery this cycle? Nah, probably. I don't know, man. I don't know. It doesn't look as bad for FET as it does for Cadena, but from what I understand, Ocean is pulling out of the alliance. So I think that, FET could recover as long as SingularityNet and Fetch AI stick together and continue to build. But Bittensoar has definitely stolen the thunder away from them as of late. So maybe FET is a sleeper pick for the next cycle. Maybe. It'll probably do good this cycle, but not as good as it had originally anticipated to be. Jake the Snake says, I've almost got even bags of Zebek, Miria, and Nadix. Not sure if I want more Zebek for a moon trading bag. Hey, you can't go wrong, brother. Richie Rich says, these dips are harsh on emotions, but great for future retirement. Yes, exactly. Too many people are focused on this small little window of right now, and not enough people are focused on the big picture, man. And that is why people lose, because they're so concerned about what's happening today with the price that they don't see what's going to happen 3 months from now with the price. And that's why they lose, right? William, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. DC November coming up. Kizza, William the Bear. Dave says, what's good, man? Culinary Gods, sup, Rob? Have a blessed day. Thank you so much. AF says, happy Wednesday, Brother Rob. And the community, I guess patience is key. Like and subscribe and stay with Brother Rob to get all the valuable information. Absolutely. Ramona says, Jake, why did you let Spencer eat your homework? He always gets sick when he does that. Absolutely. H. Barbarina in the house. Kizza, does TA work at the moment? Yeah, it can. I mean, listen, last night we were live when it happened, right? Trump took another big steamer on the market. He threatened another 155% tariff on China and crashed the markets. So, yeah, I mean, it can work to a degree, but, you know, when Trump's doing stuff like that, sending these tweets out and stuff, like, you know, it kind of throws everything out of whack, right? I mean, look how high we got yesterday. We got up to 114K. We were sitting nicely, and then Trump took a big pop to squat on the market, and, you know, here we are. Jared says the website is fire, guys. Great work. Thank you. Big C says, I've been with you since time began, brother. Nice. Aaron says, it's all your fault, Rob. I'll forgive you when we go to Pump Town. There we go, Jared. We call that an oxymoron, right? Yes. Here, Rob, Drake, Rake, take a break, or vanilla shake. Dodgers in 4. Hey, don't you knock my Blue Jays. Steven, beef suck, king suck, market sucks. Fair enough. You're allowed to feel that way today, my friend. But remember, it's a good day to have a good day, brother. Another look says Blockchain Buzz is a winner. Great guess. Mix, degen, meat-wise, killer. Absolutely. Hopefully you guys are checking out the new show we have on the channel, Blockchain Buzz, guys. Check it out. I'm going to show you something here. Check this out. We got the new show, the Blockchain Buzz, guys. You can get the link over on our website. You can watch it here or on our YouTube channel, where we bring every week the top 3 voices from the crypto space for an unfiltered roundtable on everything in the blockchain world. Check it out real quick. Let's run through a brief clip. We'll skip ahead. Talking about a $92,000 Bitcoin. I was like, oh, it's a little far for me. I don't know. You know, 98 maybe, but 92 is starting to get down there, right?
103.3 was the futures gap, and it just got filled. So,
yep.
Yeah. I was talking, I did a video earlier today talking about the sentiment in the market, and you're seeing those articles come out. When you see, you know, those kind of, just a little taste, guys, just a little taste of the Blockchain Buzz. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Every Saturday, 6 p.m. Central. Make sure you watch it. Always random guests, always different YouTubers. I'm excited about our guests coming up this Saturday, actually. Parallel Life says, hey, Crypto Fam, still here, loving the journey. There you go. Strawberry Dragon, touch grass with frost in the morning. Absolutely. Big C, like you said, put your pennies where they put their dollars. They're planning some money grabs. It's clear as day. Exactly. But not everybody's patient enough to survive it, guys. That's the thing, right? DL says, what if Jasmine is waiting for the money to flow into the markets? The PDL, actually, the PDL is active. I actually have a video coming out showing you where you can go to create your PDL now and stuff like that on their new platform. So actually, I'll give you a brief little sneak peek here, guys. A brief little sneak peek. To be able to watch their content that they have over there, you have to create your PDL on Junction. See, if you click here, it says login required to watch the videos over there. You must go to the Personal Data Locker sign up. So you click on that, and it brings you here. You just translate to English. Why is it not giving me the option here? Sorry, it gave me the option earlier. Got to translate to English. There we go. Boom. Translate to English and register for your personal data locker, Jasmine's personal data locker. So there you go. I will be going through it in a little bit more detail later in a video. So, yeah. Crypto J505, what's up, man? Stronghold listed on Kraken. Is that why it pumped up over 100% last night in like seconds? That was crazy. Or wait, yeah, wait, no, that was, never mind, that was Clearpool. That was Clearpool, right? Heard Kalashi was getting a $10 billion valuation. Crazy if true. Tola, thank you so much, Tola. Super stickers and super chats have been kind of sparse lately, so I appreciate the support. What's up, big bro? Jack Sparrow in the house. People got to stop whining, crying, and yapping too much. Lock in when the time comes. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, my friend. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There is a reason that 90% of people in crypto lose money or break even and do not make money. And what you're seeing is the compounded effects of the market wearing people's emotions down to the point where they can't handle it anymore, right? And those are the people who sell, who get mad, who don't buy the lows. And then when everything's pumping and going parabolic, they're buying green candles, which we are selling to them, right? That's the whole point. And people miss it. Their emotions get in the way. They miss it. And then they're buying our green candles later, right? Because they realize that they were wrong and for being toxic and negative and whining and complaining about it all the time, constantly, every day, right? Instead of zooming out and understanding. And those are the people that lose, right? And here's the thing. I wish we could, but we can't save everyone. We can't, right? And the people who lose in this space, those emotional people, we need them because without them, there's no volatility. So that's why I always say, if you want to be emotional, toxic, and stuff like that, by all means, please do, because you're going to sell, you're going to get mad, and then later you're going to buy my bags that I'm buying while you're complaining, right? So you're going to be my exit liquidity in the market if that's you. So by all means, don't listen to me. Don't believe me. Think there's no altcoin season. Think there's no parabolic run. Be toxic, attack, and say all these things because you will be exit liquidity later. Hey, Rob, are you familiar with BitGet token? I'm hearing good things. I'm not big on exchange tokens, to be perfectly honest with you. But the one I would say I'm big on the most is either Crow or BNB. Outside of that, I've never really been interested in exchange tokens. Marvin, my dude, what's up, man? Great time to DCA. Absolutely. Danny, I thought I left a comment earlier. What it do? What it do, baby boo? Rich, what's up, man? Hey, Rob, do you know what happened to Type AI? I can't sell it on Phantom anymore. No, I haven't heard anything. You can't sell it on Phantom? Hang on. Let me have a looky-loo. Type AI. Took a spill like everything else. No, I'm not seeing any news about it. Most of the liquidity is over on MetaMask on Uniswap, so that's probably why, just because that's where the volume is. So if you move it over there, you can probably sell it on your MetaMask wallet on the Solana network. Shouldn't have an issue. All right, so we're caught up in the chat. Let's get into the news, guys. Let's get into the news. Oh, I had this. Yeah, let's get into it here. No worries, Rich. I got you. I got your back, brother. I got your back. Bitcoin options surge as futures fade, and 107K CME gap closes. Bitcoin options open interest has risen rapidly in recent months. Glassnode data indicate that by late 2025, the level of futures open interest will be approached for the first time, suggesting a shift in market preferences. This rise points to a growing use of defined risk strategies and a focus on volatility rather than leveraged futures positions. Options trading allows traders to manage downside risk while gaining exposure to price movements. Yo Mars, what's up, man? I see you. NHL is on Polymarket, crypto, and hockey. Your two favorite, Rob. Absolutely. You got it, brother. The increase in options or OI, especially during high volatility periods, suggests that traders are adjusting to more controlled risk-taking approaches. According to Glassnode, options flows are now becoming a more dominant force in shaping Bitcoin's price movements than futures-driven liquidations. Bitcoin has filled a recent CME gap located near $107,000. The CME gap refers to a price difference that forms when the Chicago Mercantile Exchange closes for the weekend and reopens at a different price level. These gaps are often filled quickly and serve as areas of interest for traders. Don noted these might be a self-fulfilling prophecy, but the hit rate has been high. The chart confirms a clear revisit to the gap zone, while the price reacting at that level. Historically, CME gaps do not remain unfilled for long, and this latest event follows that pattern. Traders often track these CME gaps for potential short-term entry or exit points. So here's the thing, not 100% of CME gaps to the downside fill. However, 100% of CME gaps to the upside do fill, right? And that is something that I see my friend of the channel, Cesar Gets Crypto, talks about all the time. The combination of increased options activity and gap-filling behavior shows the evolving nature of Bitcoin's trading landscape. Futures still play a role in volume, but the data suggests they may no longer dominate directional influence. With options gaining ground in technical events, such as CME gaps, continuing to guide short-term moves, the market is adapting to changing strategies. The current focus is on structure, defined risk, and precision rather than broad speculation. Danny says, can't wait to watch the interview with Hara. Such a humble, hardworking guy. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. He was very thoughtful too. Hara-san had actually messaged me the other day and let me know that he's actually going to be, because I'm going down to Jasmine Labs, as you guys know, at the end of November. Well, he's going to be in Dubai for Blockchain Week at the beginning of November. So he was even thoughtful enough to message me just to confirm that I was going to be there at the end of November, not the beginning of November, so that he didn't miss me. So that was very, very considerate of him, considering how busy he is, for him to think of me at a time like that. I could not be more appreciative of that consideration. So, yeah. Crypto adoption booms worldwide. So why is the market still down? Crypto adoption is on the rise globally, from institutional integrations in Japan to regulatory clarity in Russia and payment innovations across Asia and the Middle East. Reports from Chainalysis and a 16Z show a 125% increase in global retail crypto activity in 2025, with regions like India and the US leading the surge. Despite all of that, Bitcoin struggles near $108,000. Ethereum hovers around $3,800, and most altcoins are sliding. The question many traders ask is, how can adoption be this strong while the market is this weak? Let's talk about it. Number one, the macro drag, tight liquidity, and risk-off mood. Crypto's price action increasingly mirrors traditional risk assets like tech stocks. Even as adoption grows, tight global liquidity and cautious investor sentiment keeps capital outflow high. With central banks still balancing interest rate cuts and inflation control, traders remain hesitant to take large crypto positions. Risk-off behavior in equities directly spills into the crypto market, pushing prices down even when fundamentals improve. Number two, sentiment and technical weakness. Markets run on confidence, and right now, sentiment is fragile. After the October flash crash, liquidity thinned and every rebound met resistance. Analysts note that the lack of sustained momentum has created a feedback loop of fear, with traders waiting for confirmation before re-entering positions. While adoption grows in the background, it doesn't directly inject short-term liquidity, meaning prices can drop even as use cases expand. Number 3, adoption. It's critical to distinguish between structural growth and market demand. Structural adoption means crypto is used for more payments, or more for payments, remittance, and tokenized assets. Market demand refers to speculative buying pressure that pushes prices up. The first creates long-term strength. This second moves the charts. Today's adoption is driven by practical use, not speculative hype. And that's a slower process to reflect in market valuations. Number 4, regulation, positive, but still uncertain. Japan's new plans to let banking groups trade crypto and Russia's push for legal cross-border crypto payments are both adoption wins. But regulators in the UK and US continue to challenge exchanges with lawsuits and compliance demands, adding short-term uncertainty that scares traders. In short, adoption is real, but regulation headlines still create volatility and fear. And we do have a follow-up article we're going to get into about the regulators filing lawsuits against exchanges. So you're going to want to stick around for that. Number 5, expectations already priced in. The market may have already priced in many of the bullish adoption stories. When growth continues, but without new catalysts, price often stagnates. Investors are waiting for the next big trigger, like major ETF inflows, a Bitcoin halving rally, or a decisive Fed policy shift before making strong moves again. History shows that price lags adoption. The 2020-2021 rally came months after institutional integration began. If adoption keeps expanding and liquidity returns, the market could see a delayed but strong recovery. Absolutely. And to follow up on that piece, guys, about lawsuits on exchanges and making it difficult, Justin Sun. UK regulators take legal aim at HTX for unauthorized crypto promotions. The Financial Conduct Authority, or the FCA, has filed civil proceedings in a London High Court against the crypto exchange HTX, formerly known as Huobi, marking one of its most significant enforcement actions to date in the digital asset sector. According to legal filings published October 22nd, 2025, which was today, HTX is accused of unlawfully promoting crypto asset services in the UK, to UK customers without proper authorization, thereby violating Britain's financial promotions regime. The action names HTX, Huobi Global, and 4 unnamed entities described as persons unknown, likely Justin Sun, who are believed to be responsible for the marketing and promotional activities. The FCA emphasizes that the case is part of a broader mandate to protect consumers and uphold the integrity of the UK financial markets. HTX has been on the FCA's public warning list since 2023, flagged for operating without registration in the United Kingdom. The UK regulators' move comes amid intensifying scrutiny of overseas crypto platforms targeting British investors. Under new rules introduced in 2023, crypto firms must obtain FCA authorization to market or promote digital asset services in the UK, even indirectly from abroad. The HTX case signals the FCA is now willing to litigate against non-compliant entities. Additionally, Press coverage highlights HTX's connections to high-profile figures. The exchange is advised by Justin Sun and is associated with the Trump family-affiliated meme coin, Trump Coin. While Sun is not listed as a defendant, the association adds to the regulatory optics. For UK consumers, the case is a stark warning. Trading or participating in promotions from overseas, crypto providers may carry legal and financial risks. For firms operating globally, the message is clear. UK regulatory reach extends to marketing, promotions, and any activity that targets British residents. If the court rules in favor of the FCA, HTX may face injunctions, fines, and forced to cease targeting UK operations. The case may also establish precedent, emboldening the FCA to pursue other non-authorized crypto firms. So they have their own little version of the SEC going after crypto exchanges. I mean, I guess with legal cause, I suppose, right? If you don't meet legal regulations in the country, you probably shouldn't be targeting their citizens. I guess plain and simple. But Justin Sun, at it again, the man is never in the news for anything positive. I tells you what. All right, let's segue over to Squawk Box here. The full interview with the attorney for the Southern District of New York, XRP Army's favorite son, Jay Clayton.
Right now is Jay Clayton. He's the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. He's also, of course, the former SEC chair. About a million things to talk to you about. You've been focused on markets for most of your life. By the way, you're holding a nice copy there of 1929, so God bless you for that. I'm curious, as you're looking at, and you've just done some crypto cases and some other things that are taking place. How much of your time right now is focused on the markets in this job running the Southern District versus all of the other sort of other crimes in America right now?
Percentage, a quarter, but laser focused on market integrity.
Right.
That is where this office has traditionally had a big impact. It's where the people who work there want to have a big impact. And we've had some recent cases, not just in the crypto space, but in the what I would say is in the securitization space, fraud.
Right.
And people should know we're watching. We're watching in the pre-IPO market. We're watching in the markets where pricing is not as transparent. We're watching an area that I'll just say right now that's bothering me. I'm going to look at it a lot more closely. Small cap Chinese stocks that are listed, the pump and dump activity that I think I see.
Right.
Bad.
Where are they listed?
Here.
On the NASDAQ?
Yeah.
How do you feel about, by the way, in terms of chicanery and fraud, people look at meme coins and, sort of pump and dump schemes. There's lots of conversations going on online where people are talking about pushing something up and down. It's sort of done out in the open and sort of not.
Look, I think it's done way too much out in the open. You know that when I was at the SEC, we focused on coins that were securities and people engaging in the type of behavior.
Right, that was happening back then.
I wish that I had this book when I was describing what was going on in the ICO market, that initial coin offering market, because that's exactly what was going on.
Do you think that's still going on right now, though?
I don't think it's going on as much. Hopefully not.
Right.
We can't have markets that retail folks access where there are
where
forces
they make money
that are defrauding them on a systematic basis.
Right.
That's just not America. And whether it's a securities or some other wire fraud or what, but systematic fraud against a retail person, that's bad.
I don't think we've talked about this, but you could put your SEC hat on, or you could put your new hat on. The president has talked about this idea of getting rid of quarterly earnings calls and results in that form, and doing it just twice a year. You have some people who say this is.
Quick question. Would it be considered systematic fraud against retail investors to tell them that something is a security even after the courts rule that it is not a security? Would that be systematic fraud too? Just rhetorical question.
Great companies should think more long term. They're spending too much time, too much focus on earnings, trying to either hit their numbers or just focused on the process around it. And then there's other people, including, by the way, Ken Griffin, who's out there saying more transparency is better. You don't want to take away that kind of transparency.
Two things that I would think Ken would agree on, everybody would agree on. Senior management at public companies spends way too much time preparing for quarterly earnings, getting ready. If you look at a really well-run private company, like Ken's company, how much does he spend preparing for a analogous event, and how much time do you have to spend if you're, a large cap public company? It might be 10x.
Right.
But the information is probably no different. It's just all of the process that we have added on to quarterly reporting. I don't want the senior management team in a 90-day quarter spending 10 days on reporting.
Right. So here's the question, though.
Maybe 2.
But
let's free up those.
But part of the question becomes then, if you have reporting only twice a year, the argument is that some of the quote unquote professional investors will ultimately either have more access to corporate management, they'll have more access to information, they'll be buying satellite data and other things that most people can't get access to. And when it comes to either inside information or other types of things, that the market won't know it in the same way. Yeah. There'll be the companies will sort of stunt the news.
We can't have asymmetric material information. You can't have some market participants knowing, how the company's doing between periods and others not. We have plenty of rules to prohibit that. Companies file current reports all the time. Right. They file earnings statements. The real question is, have we gotten into this cycle where one day in time matters so much? If I have a sale on, October 29th versus I have it on, November 2nd, does that make or miss the quarter and that kind of mentality? The president's absolutely right that that's not the right kind of mentality.
Have you noticed Beyond Meat?
No.
50 cents a couple of days ago. Closed yesterday at $3.62, and it's indicated $7.
Yeah, 669 is the.
Yeah, 669. Oh, there it is. But it's a bid and an ask, but it's.
On news?
No. Meme. Yeah. News that it's a meme stock.
Yeah.
That's basically. I mean, ever since the pandemic, sales have not. I don't know. We tried it a few times. I think it was. It wasn't for me. It's P-based, PEA-based. Just to be clear. No, but this is the kind of thing that. Yeah, it's a Reddit thing. I think.
The meme stock craze and the
it's coming back for you. You have something to do.
Maybe. We'll take a look at it.
But you're talking about Chinese penny stocks. That's fun.
Well,
your work is never done.
The work is never done.
I'm going to let you.
Vigilance.
He's here.
Well, I have a couple questions.
He's here. Go for it.
Well, let me ask one New York question. We've been talking about the mayoral race here in New York, and I'm curious. I don't know if you, in your role, are allowed to comment on what you think is either not just going to happen, but what the implication of it is for the financial industry and for industry writ large here.
Let me tell you, a long time, New York resident, love the city. I wanted this job that I have because of the impact you can have on the quality of life of New Yorkers. We had the height of big city competence with Mayor Bloomberg. Things worked well. Everything worked well. We have been living off the tailwind of the Bloomberg administration now for a long time. My big worry is, are we going to continue to have a decline in competence in city government? I think that's what people should be asking themselves. I mean, there are many systems in the city that are not working effectively. One that is, and one that's the most important to me, is the New York Police Department. New York Police Department is not only the best police department in the country, it's the best police department in the world. Right. Whoever the mayor is should make sure that the New York Police Department continues to use technology, continues to use crime prevention, and continues to be that gold star. They do more for this city than any institution I can think of.
All right, now go.
Okay, so Joe wants the questions.
He's here. He is. Okay, so who deserves to be the subject of a grand jury? Does Comey, from what you know about?
You can ask, but I'm not going to comment on
it. Okay, does it concern you that this looks like All right, you did lawfare to me. I'm going to do lawfare.
I'm going to back up.
Okay.
What do I think about when I go to work? That people have confidence in the Justice Department.
Okay.
And that's an area where we ought to be focusing. And
they don't. So there you go, right? Let's continue on here. I don't want to watch the whole thing because it's like almost 20 minutes long. So let's continue on, guys. What else do we have? First Solana spot ETF approved. Could this spark a new wave of institutional buying? In the latest development within Hong Kong's vision of established a crypto hub, the securities regulator has officially approved the first Solana spot ETF. The approval further solidifies Hong Kong's image as Asia's most progressive player in digital finance, coinciding with heightened global anticipation of a similar developments in the United States. Isaac, what's up, buddy? I see you. Rico, what's up, man? According to the latest reports, the Securities and Futures Commissions, or the SFC, have greenlighted China's asset management company, China AMC, Spot Solana Exchange Traded Fund. Scheduled to begin trading on October 27th on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, the approval represents a significant leap in institutional recognition of Solana's growing performance in the global blockchain ecosystem. It also underscores the region's overwhelming ambition to become a global leader in the crypto and blockchain industry, while the US government is shut down and not approving spot ETFs. Your tax money hard at work. The SFC of Hong Kong has officially approved the China AMC Spot Solana ETF, which is scheduled to debut. Yeah, we already read that part. So the BOCI Procedural Trustee Limited will act as the main custodian, while the OSL Digital Securities serves both as sub-custodian and the provider of the fund's virtual asset trading platform. Trading will take place on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange in HKD, CNY, and USD, with each currency featuring a broad lot size of 100 shares. Notably, the China AMC Solana ETF offers investors direct exposure to the Solana price performance without the need to handle private keys or trade through cryptocurrency exchanges. As part of this approval process, the SFC conducted thorough reviews of custody structures and risk management protocols. The regulators intend to address these key security concerns that have traditionally deterred institutional participation. So it's going to motivate or entice, if you will, institutional investment in Solana, as they don't have to custody it, create their own accounts, know their seed phrases, or any of that stuff, similar to the spot Bitcoin ETF. You'll love to see it for Solana, guys. As a Solana holder, I am very, very happy about that. It's only a matter of time before the US Solana spot ETF is approved. We need to negotiate now to address the issues that we have. Another day, another government shutdown.
President Trump has said that Republicans will not be extorted by giving in to Democrats' demands. This comes as the government shutdown enters day 22. Joining us right now is New Hampshire Democrat Senator Jeanne Shaheen. She has been one of the lead negotiators for the Democrats during the shutdown. And Senator, thank you for being with us this morning.
Nice to be with you. Let me just correct you, though. I'm not a lead negotiator because there are no official negotiations going on between Democrats and Republicans, between the White House, between the leadership, between Congress. All of the discussions are member to member based on concerns about how do we provide health care for the millions of Americans who are going to see their prices rise dramatically and those who are going to lose their health insurance, and keep the government open. And that's my goal, is to see how we can do both.
Have you been having conversations with some of your Republican counterparts? Because people have looked at you as somebody who has signaled that with your vote last week to push the defense bill ahead. People thought that was a signal from you that you'd be somebody who would be open to negotiations. Who are you talking to?
Well, I'm talking to a number of my colleagues on the Republican side. I don't want to get into personalities, but I've had good discussions. I think there's a lot of intent on both sides of the aisle to address the problem, because people understand that 76% of the people who are recipients of those tax credits to help them afford their health insurance are people who live in states that President Trump won during the election. 57% of them are in congressional districts that are Republican. So our colleagues on both sides of the aisle understand this is an issue that we need to address.
It's hard from the outside to see how this breaks, how there is movement. From the inside, do you see a path?
Well, I think there are lots of options that we ought to be able to agree to, and it's a matter of a commitment. But again, I think what would help a lot is if the leaders of both the majority and the minority in both houses and the president would sit down and would solve this problem, because there are a number of different ways to do it that can address both providing affordable health insurance and making sure we keep the government open. And we should be doing that. And I'm disappointed that the president is headed off out of the country again without being willing to sit down and meet with people.
I guess Republicans, Senator, just say that they want to do both. They're two totally unrelated things. We had Senator Ron Johnson, on yesterday, and he was imploring individuals like you're not running for re-election. You don't need to listen to whatever it is that Chuck Schumer, minority leader, is saying. You, like Senator Fetterman, you're in a position where you could, look at what's happening. And in the past, I'm sure you made comments about shutting down the government. Should never happen to try to blackmail another party into doing something. And he was imploring that you are going to lead the way, maybe be the next one to break away from, the monolith of Democrats that aren't supporting this. And then I think he mentioned, or at least someone mentioned, that you did vote for a bill that sort of indicated, the defense bill, that indicated maybe you were, opening or at least weakening a little on your resolve to keep voting no. You've done that 10 times on a continuing resolution that's been voted on 13 times before to pass by Democrats.
Well, I don't think this is about what Senator Schumer says or what Senator Thune says. I think this is about how are we going to ensure that the millions of Americans who need health insurance because they can't feel secure in their lives without knowing they can get health care are addressed. President Trump is willing to spend $20 billion to bail out his friends in Argentina, but he's willing to let over 20 million Americans see their insurance costs rise almost double. So I think this is about how we work together to ensure that the issues that are facing Americans are addressed. And health care is critical. I had a meeting with some constituents last Friday when I was in New Hampshire. One was a man who was probably in his early 50s. He was a small business owner. He had had cancer. He got his insurance through the marketplace. He said, if I didn't have that insurance through the Affordable Care Act, I would not have gone to the doctor. I would not have gotten my cancer treated, and I would be dead by now. So he was talking about how important it is to be able to continue to afford his health insurance. But that's what this fight is about.
Okay, but
so if
there comes a time when Democrats are back in charge and the Republicans don't like that and don't like something that your party does, you would urge them to shut down the government. You think this is, at this point, it's
no,
fair
and in
game?
fact, over the last 4 years during the Biden administration, there was no government shutdown. And there was no government shutdown because people sat down and negotiated.
But from here on out, it's okay.
Because we knew there were issues that the majority, that the Republican Party faced that we needed to address. And I think we need to negotiate now to address the issues that we have.
Want to ask the question.
In order to move this forward in the Senate, it takes Democratic votes. And so we need to be part of those discussions.
So you would you will not criticize Republicans in the future if they shut down the government because they don't like something Democrats
Listen,
are doing.
I've been critical of both Democrats and Republicans in these fights, and I will continue to try and call it like I see it. I think this is an issue where everybody should come to the table, and both sides have been at fault.
For me.
Senator, the pressure continues to ramp up. Not only do we have federal employees who aren't being paid, even essential employees who are being asked to come in to work, like the air traffic control. At this point,
I love that on Squawk Box, they have constantly been asking the Democrats, then they come on a daily basis. I love that they're asking them, so you're saying it's okay to shut down when there's something you don't like. So then in the future, you will not publicly jump out and say Republicans don't care about people. You will not condemn a government shutdown because of something that they believe in, right? I love that they're pounding that point home. You're saying government shutdowns are okay, so do not come back later if the Republicans ever shut down the government again, and do not complain about it saying government shutdowns are bad because you're doing it, right?
it's also being noted by many states that money for SNAP, the food benefits package for many Americans, more than 40 million, I think, get some assistance on this. That money is set to run out in most states at the beginning of November. When is there a pressure point that you say this is too much? There's too much other pain that's taking place on ordinary citizens in order to continue to keep the government closed while we negotiate this?
Well, again, that's why I think it's important to come to the table. I am worried about the people in New Hampshire who are going to see their SNAP benefits run out at the end of the month. I'm worried about the people who are receiving WIC food, the mothers and children. And I think we need to, again, encourage our leaders on both sides of the aisle to come to the table and address this issue.
We just had the CEO of Kalshi, the prediction market, on. At this point, they are assuming that it's going to be 42 days that the government stays closed. Does that sound right to you? Does that sound like a tenable situation?
I don't think it's tenable. I didn't think it was tenable on day one, but I think they're guessing. I don't have any idea. They're assuming that nobody's ever going to talk to each other. I hope that's not the case. I think one of the things that I hear from my constituents consistently is, why don't you all sit down and work together to address the challenges that are facing this country? That's what we need. We need to get people out of their partisan positions and to the table to work together to solve this problem.
And you just don't feel that if you open the government and do it through appropriations, you just don't feel that that could be done. It has to be done this way.
Well, I think getting back to appropriations bills is really important, and that's why I voted for the defense bill last week.
Mm-hmm. You also have plans to be introducing several bills today regarding sanctions against Russia. What are those bills, and what's the likelihood anything gets done before things kind of reopen?
Well, those are bills that have already been introduced. We have a business meeting in the Foreign Relations Committee today, and we will take up bills addressing Russia's unprovoked war in Ukraine for the first time in this Congress. And I'm really excited because I think these three bills are going to pass. One would designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism because of the way they have kidnapped Ukrainian children and taken them to Russia. It has bipartisan support. One is a bill that would address China's continued funding of Russia's war machine. Again, that has bipartisan support. Senator Cornyn and I are co-sponsoring that legislation. And the third would address the repossessed assets that we are currently holding from Russia and allow us to use some of those dollars to give back to Ukraine so they can continue to fight this war against Russia. Winter's coming. We know they need long-range missiles. We know they need help with their electricity grid because it's going to be a cold winter. So we need to do everything possible to support them.
What we need is we need a stop to the conflict, period. That's it. That's what we need, right? We're talking needs. Rip, did the title change from zero? No, that title that you're asking about, that is from the live stream last night. That's last night's live stream title. Strawberry Dragon in the house. All right, guys, I got some coaching calls I got to do over on the Patreon. Get over there. Book your coaching calls today. You do not want to miss out on it, guys. Bitcoin holding at 108,237, which is good. We're just a hair above support. We got to close above 108,225. That's what we want to see. Make sure you use the link in the chat, guys. Go check out our website, our free newsletter. Check out the latest on Blockchain Buzz every Saturday. You can watch our videos there as well. And the updates on the journey into Jasmine. Rob meets Harasan in Japan. You're not going to want to miss it, guys. Use the link down below. Check out the free newsletter and so much more. Book your one-on-one coaching calls over in our Patreon community. I dropped a trade video over there today. I dropped 2 yesterday. I will be dropping another one this afternoon over there. So join our trading group, and check it out today. It's less than the price of a cup of coffee. Also, all of our training courses are free to our Patreon members. So, or use the QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Tonight, guys, 6 p.m. Central, I will be back on YouTube for another live stream. So I'll see you then. God bless.